listen to their, speeches and listen to their qualities. Empathy. What is the meaning of empathy? Dil ki daulat. I call empathy dil ki daulat. Heart से जो बात करे, faith जिसको विश्वास हो, टेक्नोलॉजी पे भी हो, and talent पे, जिसमें talent हो, who can show to the world that I am not only a leader, I have other qualities also. And then I think with these qualities, creativity, innovation, and invention, a leader is complete and he can lead the way as he wants. Maybe that is in the club, as in the club, or that is in the district, maybe region-wise, regionally, maybe district-wise, or maybe, in your multiple, or maybe nationally and internationally. So leaders should have these qualities. But there is one more side of a leader. These qualities, I know you all must be knowing. I'm not a new person to tell them. Because if you have become a leader, if you're holding such a big programs, you've taken this initiative, so you have a lot of qualities in you. And you are a great leader in your own. But one more quality which is very important, that is personality. Personality is very important. And for that, we need to develop our personality. How can we develop our personality? Even tempered, we should be steady, accommodating, patient, and tactful. These are the qualities which we should have. It means personality development means enhancing and grooming outer and inner self of being to bring a positive change in your life. आपके अंदर और बाहर, आपकी पर्सनैलिटी में अंदर और बाहर बहुत अंतर है. बाहर से हम कई बार कुछ और नजर आते हैं. We show something different, and from inside we are different. But we need to project our personality in both ways. Outer development also and inner development also. The whole of his development takes place over a period of time. It can't come in one day. Though there are many courses in personality development. And it's not necessary that you need to attend all those programs. But I would like to tell you what is the inner personality and what is the outer personality we need to look at. Personality development, if I talk about outer personality and inner personality, outer personality is attitude. आप किसी प्रोग्राम में जाते हैं, आपका एटीट्यूड कैसा है, आपका बिहेवियर कैसा है, वो आपका नजर आता है. How you walk, how you talk, how your personality is, how you dress up. That is your outer personality. Your commitment, your compassion, time management. Never give up. Effective public speaking. You can talk to people, you can converse with them. That is your motivation, inspiration. That is the outer personality of your personality, which you can project to the people when you go for a meeting. Like today, I'm in a meeting. If I'm meeting somebody, I need to know how I have to meet, how I have to greet everybody. But inner personality is that which faces all challenges. Stress management, managing conflicts, power of positive thinking, inner peace, very important. We should have peace in ourselves. Role of emotions, spiritual growth, and levels of human learning. We need to have always that we are learning today. We should be eager to learn always. Not only we are very learned, maybe some new point or maybe some new line can really impress us, and we can lead the way as we need to lead. And that more important is know yourself from within and without, outer also and inner also. If you know yourself, then you can impress others also in the outer manner. Rightly said by Swami Vivekanand ji, जीवन में ज्यादा रिश्ते होना जरूरी नहीं है. जीवन में ज्यादा रिश्ते होना जरूरी नहीं है, पर जो रिश्ते हैं उनमें जीवन होना बहुत जरूरी है. जो रिश्ते हमने बनाए हैं, let us make them alive. That is very important. Personal development अगर हम करना चाहते हैं अपनी, we need to develop ourselves personally. So it should be spiritually, we can do it, emotionally, socially, physical and mentally. So these are some important features which I wanted to discuss with all of you, that we need to have personality also, being a leader. Be a good finisher. When you are going to go for a meeting, or when you are going to go for somebody to address, you need to be a good finisher. You need to stretch yourself. You need to think about your inner self, and you have to live in the present. because your energy will only channelized when you work in the present and you can impress others and motivate and inspire each others. So I can give you one example of a very beautiful example for this inner and outer personality. Everybody knows about the iceberg. We all know about that. आइसबर्ग में क्या क्वालिटी है? उनकी उसकी इनर भी है पर्सनैलिटी, आउटर भी है. What is the inner? Only 10% iceberg is visible. When we see the iceberg, it is visible only 10%. And that is below sea level. 90% is below sea level. 10% we can see upper level, and 90% is the below level. The iceberg phenomena is also applicable on human beings. Outer is behavior and attitude, and inner is spiritual growth and development. So these are the things which we need to acquire in ourselves to being a good leader, and we can lead the way in whatever way we can, and we want to grow our association at the higher position. Leadership is not about the size of your office or title on your business card. Leadership is not about all this. कि आपका टाइटल बिजनेस कार्ड पे आ गया, you are a chairperson of some company and you are a great leader. It is about depth of your commitment and your passion to get the things done. Only then you will be recognized as a good leader. Communication, again, important way. How you communicate with others, how you greet them, how you wish them. That is very important. Team management, of course, that is the main thing which we always talk about. Because without team, we are nothing. And need to plan next line of leadership. That is very important. Normally हम क्या करते हैं, हम next line leadership के बारे में सोचते ही नहीं. We don't think of it. हमें लगता है we are the leaders. We'll keep everything within ourselves. We don't want to tell everyone our qualities. We don't want to teach them. We don't want to educate them. But we need to do that. Next line of leadership is very important to build. As our international foundation always thinks of that. They plan the next line of leadership for 5-6 years ahead. Conventions also, even our hierarchy of the presidents, that is also decided 4 to 5 years, like first vice president, second and third. So even districts also, first governor, first vice governor, second vice governor. So this is the hierarchy which we need to make form a next line of leadership. I remember a very small instance of eagle. Eagle, वो हम कहते हैं कि eagle is like cheel, which we talk about, and we all are very scared of eagle because it is very strong. She's very strengthful. She's very strong, and she can take anything, snatch anything from anybody. But have you seen one thing? When she has her child, when the child little grows, she picks the child in her पंजों में, अपने पैरों में उनको पकड़ती है और उसको ऊंचे आकाश में ले जाती है उड़ाने के लिए. She takes that child एकदम हाई स्काई में, और वहां जाकर she leaves that child. She makes her child learn how to fly. She is preparing the next line of leadership. हमारे क्या होता है फैमिलीज में, we don't think of that. फादर को लगता है अभी बेटे को क्या समझाना है, अभी छोटा है. You never know. So I think before we enter into that stage where we can't do anything, let us try to prepare the next line of leadership and let us lead the way as we need to lead it. So if you are a leader, you are becoming a champion. What is a champion? Champion is a good leader. We always say he's a great champion. How is a champion? He has won this battle. He has won this sports. That is like a leader. He's a leader in his own way because he has won some trophy or he has won some race. Maybe he has won some big competition. Champions are not superhuman. They just fight for the one extra second when everyone else quits. These are the champions. And remember, sometimes one extra second of effort gives you the success. Let us be a champion of our organization. Let us be a great leader of our organizations, because champions are not made in gyms. Champions are made from something they have deep inside them. Inner personality and outer personality. Inner qualities and outer qualities. They have desire. They have a dream. Like a leader has a desire. Leader has a dream. leader has a vision, they have to have all the skills and the will. Very rightly said by Muhammad Ali, the leader and the champion have to have the skill and the will. But the will must be stronger than the skill. If you are strong-willed, no one can stop you to lead the way. So today, I will request all the leaders who are sitting in front of me, all the participants, all the past district governors, 7 clubs from distant districts. I think from all over India, we have the leaders here today in this seminar. And I'm so happy that I've been able to at least talk to each one of you about what I feel about leadership, what I feel about the personality development. And I'm very confident then with this way of leading the way, a great initiative has been taken by all of you. And I must congratulate and compliment each one of you for initiative because this is a need of the hour. And this pandemic, COVID-19, has made us think all these things as how we can connect with each other. And I always say that COVID-19 has come. I understand. We are very, sometimes we are very depressed, what to do, what not to do. But I always feel this diversity has given us the opportunity. In one day, we are connecting to 4 places. If I could have, I need to have come to your place, I would have only visited your place in one time. But today, this is my 3rd webinar. I've been able to attend a lot of leaders. I've been able to attend a lot of webinars today also. So this is the opportunity has been given to us. And let us take this opportunity in a positive manner. And I'm very confident that this seminar, this initiative which you have taken, is going to take you more and more forward. And you are going to lead the way to the whole Association of Lions with this initiative taken by this group of ALLI and ELLI faculties, and of course, all the 7 districts of India. And I am so humbled and honored that I have been given the opportunity today. But I will just conclude my leadership quotes that I would like to just give an example how a leader can overcome the crisis. This is very important. Crisis comes in everyone's way. Even I am not without crisis. We have faced so many crises in this time, in journey. Even I have faced a lot of crises. But I think a leader is the one who can handle the crisis. Abraham Lincoln, everybody knows he was the US president. When he was campaigning for his presidentship, he used to travel so many villages, so many small areas of America. And he was going always with his driver. And whenever he used to get down, driver also used to get down with him and used to sit in the audience and listen to him, what he was talking about. And as campaign was going on, so many campaigns had been, done. So one day he was feeling very, very ill, or maybe he was not feeling in a mood. Abraham Lincoln was not in a mood to talk to that program. He went to a very, very new village, very new small town where no one knew him. So he told his driver, Robert, can you do meeting in spite of me today? Can you handle this situation? Because I'm not feeling too well. I want to take rest. I'll sit in the audience and you will handle the meeting. The driver was very confident because he was listening to his boss since so many months, how he behaves, how he talks. So driver with so much of confidence, Robert went on the stage and he started addressing the people like Abraham Lincoln used to address. When all the address was over and the audience clapped for that address, but one person from the audience just got up and he asked one question from the Robert, the driver of Abraham Lincoln, that, sir, you have talked so much about so many things, and he asked a very difficult question. The driver didn't know the answer, but driver knew how to handle the crisis, which he learned from his leader, from his boss. He said, oh, this is a very easy question. Even my driver in the audience can answer. And he pointed out at Abraham Lincoln to answer that question. This was the quality of a leader to handle in crisis. So I'm sure we all are there. We always handle the crisis very well, and wishing you all the best. And I always believe that our international president has given us such a beautiful slogan that we need to let us lead the way, being united in kindness and diversity. And mind it, my friends, every diversity brings an opportunity. And today's the opportunity to lead the way. Let us lead the way. Thank you very much for the opportunity given to me. Keep well of yourselves. Please stay safe and take care. Thank you very much. Namaskar. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving us a complete 360-degree view on leadership and covering up all aspects in such a short time. And we are really delighted to hear from you. Looking at you, I am recollected of the quote which says, if your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, and do more, you are a leader. So, certainly, what more are we looking at? Your actions have always inspired us. And if we look at your life personally, I'm just reminded of the words of Nelson Mandela, who said, it is in your hands to create a better world for all who live in. And your ventures and your gestures have really made it possible. Ma'am, we are really blessed to have you in our session today. Thank you so much for your inspiration and your words, ma'am.
I hope I finished in time.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And thank you so much, ma'am, because I was not actually able to get.
1 minute. Can I take? I have forgotten to talk about Shalini.
Yes, Shalini is here now.
Shalini, thank you so much. You really gave me the opportunity. All of you, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. There is a strong feeling of humbleness inside me, and I congratulate the luckiest of me and us who got the golden opportunity to be present here and listen to you. Very mesmerizing and enlightening words. Thank you so much, ma'am, and do stay with us.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. And we are delighted Shalini has joined us now. She's traveling, and very, very nice of her that she's, still managed to be with the program.
Yeah, because it was that I was missing something, and then I decided, no, I must log on. Maybe I'm on my traveling. I still did not reach home.
Okay.
Still happy I'm with you all.
Okay. Friends, it is now time to talk about winning. Yes, and we have the winner of the previous episode. But before I come to the winner of the previous episode, I know I would want you to know that each one of you can be the winner of the player of the episode. And it is very simple. All you got to do is ask a question. So when we have the two sessions coming up next, one session is with our faculty, Lion Sandesh, and the second session with our ALLI graduate, Lion Sindhu. All you need to do is after that, in the Q&A session, ask a question. And if your question is selected to be the best question, you would be recognized with player of the episode. And I would like to present to you the player of the episode for the previous episode 5. And here we have Lion Mukesh Babu, who had put in a very interesting question to our faculty. And here we have congratulations to Lion Mukesh Babu. And let me tell you, each one of you, once our session, the next session starts up for the faculty, do not miss out on the Q&A session. I would also like to remind that we have a participation certificate for all of you, only and only if you register through the link and with a proper email ID. If you are just putting your email ID on the chat, my friends, it is not going to work. You really need to come forward and fill up on the link, and then only you will get a certificate. Our member Lion Jaya is handling that part fantastically. Friends, it is now time for us to move on to talk about learning. The most beautiful thing about learning is that nobody can take it from you. And we have a faculty session coming up next. We have a special faculty today who brings to us the blessings of Lord Pashupatinath right from Nepal. And to introduce the faculty, I would like to welcome Lion P.S. Suraj to introduce our faculty for today, Lion Sandesh. Lion Suraj.
Warm good evening. Friends, today we have with us a Lion leader, moreover a motivational speaker, who created a lot of leaders for our organization. He's a trainer of trainers, Lion Dr. Sandesh Das Shetha. Born in the city of Viratnagar, Nepal. By profession, he is an associate professor in Purbanchal University, School of Management. Moreover, he is an executive director of Virat Sri Media Private Limited, BFM 91.2 radio channel. Joined Lionism in 2000 as a member of Viratnagar Central Lions Club and became club president in 2009-10. Zone chairperson in 2015-16, region chairperson in 2017-18 of district 325A1 Nepal. Lion Dr. Sandesh was the faculty for Faculty Development Institute, faculty for Lion Certified Instructor Program, faculty for DG Schooling, VDG Schooling, ALLI, RLLI, DLLI, and also for District Cabinet Schooling. As a trainer, he conducted various training programs for corporate and for social organizations. As an active Lion, he received Outstanding President Award, Best Zone Chairperson Award, Outstanding Region Chairperson Award. Also, he received the Lion of the Year Award of District 325A1. He received 3 Leadership Medal and 5 International President Certificate of Appreciation. Lion Dr. Sandesh is well known beyond Lionism. He was a Senate member of Purvanchal University, Executive Vice President of Nepal JCs in 2008. He received the highest award for academic excellence, the Nepal Vidya Bhushan, from the President of Nepal. With these words, I proudly present before you Lion Dr. Sandesh Das Shrestha, who believes that teaching ability is a gift of God and should be passed from generation to generation. Sir, I welcome you to this Lead the Way platform. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Lionism. Over to Manish.
Thank you, P.S. Suraj, for the wonderful introduction.
Thank you, sir.
I'll straight away go into sharing the slides so that we are together on the same bandwagon. Okay. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. I know it's been a hectic series that Lead the Way team has always pioneered, and it's so nice to come all the way from, as rightly said, from the land of Lord Pashupatinath to everyone, whoever is with me right now. My sincerity, with all humbleness, to the champion of service, past international director, Lion Aruna Oswal, who I have heard about her philanthropy, about her contribution to Lionism in such a massive scale. It's not just that you need money to serve, it is the big heart that you need to serve. And Lion Aruna Oswal, you are an epitome of that. Thank you for gracing this occasion as the chief guest. And I will be certainly carrying forward whatever you've said in the session. It's made my session more easy for me. Friends, thank you all at the Lead the Way team for inviting me, and also my special thanks to my ALLI faculty participant who will be presenting after me about this thing, that is Sindhu Dinaraj. She was the one who initiated this connectivity. And as we say that the role that we are going to play as leaders in the new wave of leadership is about servant leadership. So I begin my session firstly by requesting you that we are very proud to say that the Lions of Nepal is celebrating its Golden Jubilee year this year. So from all the Lions of Nepal, more than 35,000 members from the 4 districts, a big salute to all the Lions wherever you are. And also it's a proud moment for me that my home club, the Lions Club of Biratnagar Central, is celebrating its Silver Jubilee year. So on behalf of my Lions Club Biratnagar Central Lion Home Club, and I know my chartered president, Lion Vijay Hari Sharma, is with me right now in this session. I know my past district governor from my club, my past president and past district governor from my district 325A1, Lion Leela Dungel, is with us right now. So on behalf of my home club, which is celebrating its 25 years of service, a big, big salute to all of you. So I begin my session, basically the time that I have been allotted would be a little bit more interactive. So I begin with a simple question to you. Dear friends, I know it's going to be another 45 minutes of my journey with you on the Lead the Way. So on these 2 words, please use the chat box and please tell me that which of these 2 are better for leading or learning in Lionism, or what do you practice, or what would you practice? So I just want to see your interaction on this. Laddership versus leadership. Okay, I just want the word. Okay, if it's ladder, it's just write down ladder. You don't need to write down the full word. If it's leader, just write down the leader. I don't need the full words. Okay, so could you just give me what? Okay, leadership is what I've been. Monarchy is saying both. Okay, so the little bit of difference in monarchy. Shalini says leadership. And I guess everyone. Okay, there is. Lion Gorsal from Bangladesh who's saying laddership. There are some people who are saying both, but a majority of you are saying leadership. I guess we are in a world where we think our terms to be a little bit different. Okay, thank you all of you for your this thing. At least I know that my participants are alive and kicking. Okay, because sometimes, you know, if it's the Zoom is a good channel to show your presence by not being present. So I think by interacting with you, I know you will be excited to join me. So as the word says, laddership, if you take it in a different context of corporate world, I know that's why many of the people have replied that in the social arena that we are in, leadership is more important, because when thinking in terms of the corporate world, then leadership is always like, you know, where you're trying to please your boss, you're trying to please the person who is at the highest level, and you're just going around that person and just obeying him. Okay, so because you just want to be with the person at the top, and that is how you climb on your hierarchy. But if you look at these two words, it is synonymous to the topic that I'll be discussing about. Okay, as some of my participants have rightly pointed out, that both, and I agree to disagree, and I disagree to agree on both of the points, because I do not want to say that everyone is the same or everyone is different, but going by these two words, it depends upon which situation you are to handle what. Okay, so if you are to create a social environment, naturally your leadership should create the ladder for others to reach the top, and then you follow them so that you are satisfied with what they have achieved. So it's all about you putting yourself not ahead of others, but you putting yourself at the supporting end for all to survive or all to move ahead. That's why, dear friends, when we talk about leadership versus leadership, it's your connotation. But in a social arena, I would like to request, don't compare it with the corporate world. Okay, when you compare it with the corporate world, it goes on to many other meanings. But if you compare it to the social world of service, then both are important. So that is why I talk about servant leadership today. Servant leadership is based on an essay written by Servant as a Leader. There have been lots of instances where this word has been coined by Robert Greenleaf, but the practice has been there from time immemorial. Okay, it's been 5,000, 6,000 years since humanity began, and since person-to-person relationship began, servant leadership is there. But when we Lions, we are in the next century of service, okay, and where institutes have been developing so that leadership platforms are created, Lions leadership is now gearing towards servant leadership. If you go to the Lions Learning Center, and if you've gone through the various courses, you'll find a course on servant leadership also. And why has Lions International, the institutes at the Lions International, focused on servant leadership? Is because this is the norm that is going to guide people in all its relationships. Because it is said that the key role of servant leadership is to be a connective agent. So this is what Robert Greenleaf pointed out. He left a legacy by explaining the theory of servant leadership, and he provided us with a deeper understanding of leadership. That is why today, as we talk about servant leadership, we have to understand that servant leadership is a leadership philosophy. Please, I stress this point, leadership philosophy. Okay, it is not a theory, but it is something that you do in practice. Okay, it's not where, as we rightly heard just now when Madam Aruna Aswal was talking about caring and sharing, when she was talking about empathy, when she was talking about the outer and inner self that you know to serve. And also the most important thing is that their leadership is not a title. It is about what you do. Okay, it is about the will that you have over the skill that you present. So when we talk about all this, we have to understand that servant leadership is a leadership philosophy where the main goal of the leader is to serve. That is why, as Robert Greenleaf defined, a servant leader is servant first. It begins with the natural feeling that one wants to serve as opposed to wanting power, influence, fame, or wealth. So as PID Aruna Osalman just said during a speech as a chief guest, that leadership is not a title. How rightly she said it, because leadership is not wanting power. It's not about influence. It is about not fame or wealth. It is about the natural feeling that one wants to serve. And she talked about being a champion to serve, and I bestowed the title on her also. So that is why leadership philosophy, where the main goal is to serve, is what servant leadership is all about. Then also, when you talk about servant leadership, it is different from the traditional approach to leadership, where in the traditional approach, the main focus of the leader is thriving the organization. But over here, when we talk about servant leadership, it is not about the organization in totality. It is about the team members. Okay, so in the traditional, it is team serves the leaders, whereas in the servant leadership, it is the leaders who serves the team. In the traditional, it is the diminisher approach, whereas in the servant leadership, it is the multiplier approach. So when we talk about servant leadership, that is why where there is a need, there is a lion. We grow by serving more. We grow by inviting more. Okay, we grow. We are the largest volunteer organ. We are the largest volunteer organization in the world in this field of humanitarian service. It's not because some few people just got down together and within their framework they worked. Okay, it is where we are more hands to serve, and that more hands to serve is because we have a slogan where there's a need, there's a lion, and everyone can serve. So that is why servant leadership has been a very prime factor of leadership in Lionism. So now, talking about the two elements of leadership, or servant leadership, I'll be talking about both of these. And at the end of the session objective is concerned with the two elements of servant leadership and also the 10 characteristics of servant leadership. So talking about the two elements of servant leadership, please remember that when we hear the term leadership, and as Manish had rightly said, a leader is someone who knows the way, shows the way, and goes all the way. Very true. But to know the way, to go the way, and show the way, and as your theme is lead the way, first you got to understand who you are. First, you got to understand what is your capacity. First, you got to understand what your capability is, what your compatibility is. Okay, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? And also about all the factors that guide you, because we are all unique. We are all different. But in our uniqueness, as rightly pointed out through our Alliance International President's slogan, that kindness and diversity. Okay, diversity is the beauty of teamwork. And in that diversity, the beauty can only happen when we collaborate, when our collaborations are effective. So first element of servant leadership is about yourself. Okay, you got to take the leap. As it's been rightly pointed out, a person, okay, when he or she is asleep can be woken up because she or he is in a deep sleep. But a person who pretends to be sleeping cannot be woken up because he or she is pretending. So that is why when we talk about elements of servant leadership, it is about self-leadership. And then secondly, the part of leading others. So I come to the first element, self-leadership. I know this is self-explanatory, but I would like to make you probe onto it more, okay? So the first thing is that the good and bad about yourself. Know thyself. Simple, okay? Don't ever lie to yourself, and you cannot do it. You cannot do it. Can you ever lie to yourself? Can you ever tell that this is the truth and this is not the truth, and you say that if it's not the truth and you're still happy that it is the truth? Never. So know yourself, separate the good and the bad. And in that, I'd like to request, I'm going to give you 2 minutes of time to it, okay? I'm going to personally give you 2 minutes time to it. You may have a pen and paper, or just keep it in your mind, keep it in your head, okay? As a human being right now, as a lion right now, or as a person who is ready to serve the society, serve the nation, serve the international community, okay? As a human being, what are the things that you would keep for life? Remember what I'm saying, please. What are the things that you'd keep for life? What are the things that you need to change immediately so that you become a better human? What are the things that you need to reinvent, invent, innovate, whatever you call it, so that you can reach to the next level? And what are the things you need to discard? Not maybe immediately, but there may be certain habits that you need to change over a period of time. There may be certain things that is bogging you down that you need to remove it from your mental frame, from your physical frame over a period of time. So I'm again requesting you, okay, if you are to provide self-leadership to becoming a servant leader, okay, just keep in mind and keep this as let's say every time you change your toothbrush, okay, they tell you to change your password, right? They tell you to change your password every time you change your toothbrush. So I request you that every time you change your toothbrush, when you're changing your password and you enter it so that a new password and your files are safe, let's see how your mental file is also going to be kept safe. Every 3 months, every 2 months, when you change your toothbrush, okay, just sit down, give 30 minutes of time to it, deliberately think that you need to keep, think that you need to change, think that you need to invent, and think that you need to discard. Believe me, every quarter, you'll come up with a different you. You'll come up with a different self. And that different self will either energize you, or that different self will help you to overcome all the challenges that may be hindering you. So both are important. So keep, change, invent, and discard. So that is the one of the formula of how you provide your self-leadership. Then we talk about the next. The good or the bad, love yourself, but not egoistically. I, me, myself syndrome is bad. I, me, myself syndrome should be always erased with we syndrome. Okay, that's why I talk about the revolution. The new revolution that is going to happen after COVID-19 is the revolution, where everyone is we are going to be involved. So love yourself, the good and the bad, but not egoistically. Don't expect the world to love you and point out to them that you love me. Okay, if they love you, very well. It's been so rightly said, if you love someone, set it free. If you love someone, set it free. If it comes back, it is yours. If it does not, it never was yours. So the same thing applies to yourself. If you're doing something and if people love you and appreciate you, be very thankful, but don't be so egoistic that and take it with pride that you are the only one. Okay, so that is love yourself. Third is grow, 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 grow. And as the word has been progressing, a continuous process of growth has to happen. Okay, so that is what self-leadership is about. It is about growing. It is about growing. And as they say, you have always got to be better than yourself, what you were yesterday, because today is the present day that you're living in. You've got to be better than what you were yesterday. Okay, that is what the growth is all about. The fifth point that I want to elaborate on self-leadership is finding a target. And remember, the first gold medalist that India got in the Olympics, Avinav Bindra. When I was reading his book, he had specifically mentioned that when a journalist asked him just after getting the gold medal, that till when did the exuberance last? And you know what he said? It lasted for 10 seconds. It just lasted for 10 seconds. After that, it was so normal, because when you are focused on a target of achieving something, you make yourself numb. You make yourself numb. And then when you achieve it, the exuberance is not there. It is where the numbness just subsides. So when you find your target, take a deep breath and just let go, because that is your call. That is what you have to do. Okay, don't keep on searching for newer targets. Focus on one target and move ahead, and that is what self-leadership is about. And the next thing that I want to talk about is look for a mentor, not a tormentor. Okay, sometimes we find teachers because we respect them, but does not mean that that self-respect of yourself has to be diminished in front of them. So look for a mentor, not a tormentor, and vice versa, become a mentor, not a tormentor. This is about self-leadership. So just because someone was a tormentor when you went to him or her to become a mentor, does not mean you apply the same thing to somebody else if they want you to be their mentor. So for example, if someone has tortured me, does not mean I torture the next generation that is looking up to me. So that is why I always put this in a vice versa way, that look for a mentor, not a tormentor, and become a mentor, not a tormentor. And this is what self-leadership is all about, okay? Second element that I'm going to talk about is leading others now. So there were two elements of service leadership that we were talking about. First is self-leadership, and the second is leading others. In leading others, the first thing that we need to understand is open up. Open up. It's a wide, big world. The world is there, and the world is just a small component of the galaxy, the Milky Way, and you name it, okay? You may have seen the film Men in Black. At the end, what does it show us? Our whole planet, our whole Milky Way, our whole galaxy is in just a small marble, okay? So open your eyes to the social realities around you, your community, and the rest of the world. So that is the first thing that you need to understand when you are leading others. So the first element is open to the realities. Second is know and build your community, okay? I'm building up onto the characteristics of servant leadership, whether it's a tribe, a band, a class, or the club that you are associated with. Build your community. Third is partnership is very important. Love them. Whoever is a lion, really love them for who they are, because at least you're on the same bandwagon, wearing the pin of a lion. At least you know that person is interested to serve the nation, serve the society, serve the community. So in partnership with anyone who is a lion in a social service, love them for what they are really doing and for who they are. Care to listen and understand them. That is what Aruna ma'am just said. Okay, it's all about caring and sharing. Okay, caring and sharing. And this is the most important thing that you understand in servant leadership. I'm just building up the background for you to understand how can we be servant leaders. Because remember, when the word servant leadership came about, they used a hyphen in between the servant and leadership. And they segregated it to make it personally understand to people that whoever thought that being a servant is demeaning, okay? Servant means the lower class. Servant means the people that are working for you. And then they had to use the hyphen to say that no, servant does not mean people of the lower class. It means that you are willing to provide yourself to serve others. So care to listen and understand them. That is why in servant leadership, when you are sharing your leadership aspects, you have to understand that important is in us rather than I. It's in us. It's in us together. It's on us being on the same track, leading the way, rather than just I leading the way. I know, see, the friends at Lead the Way, so many clubs coming together, so many ELL and ALL graduates coming together from all parts of India, okay? If any one of you in this team just thought that this is my child, this is my way, or no way, okay? This is my way, or you go the highway, would it be the Lead the Way? Never. But how are you doing Lead the Way? You are encompassing everyone's viewpoint. You are deliberating on the subject matter. You are discussing, and then you come up with a consensus, and then the episodes are running. See, the importance of us rather than I is there. That is why good leaders must first become good servants. That is what Robert Greenleaf said. And servant leadership, as I said, is more about philosophy. It's on the head rather than just the mouth. It's less theory. Okay, you speak much, but you don't do, then it's useless. But you speak less and you do more. That's what servant leadership is all about. So as I move ahead, I'm giving you an open invitation. Okay, and I'm giving you an open invitation to the action of your vision through servant leadership. So are we ready? If you're ready, just give me a yes on your chat box so that this next 25 minutes of our session will continue on the servant leadership movie, okay? Or it's the theater that we are in. Thank you. I want a yes. If it's difficult for you to write yes, just write down why. But I want it from everyone. A yes and a why, a yes or a why, a yes or a why. You have to do it. You just have got to write it, because I want you to wake up now, because you're going to be the best servant leadership in the next, after the next 25 minutes. I am challenging you to become the next servant leader, and your club, your district, your zone, everything, and our international Lions clubs is going to be the best. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all for all of your this thing. And I am seeing so many of my friends from Nepal also joining me, because I put it on friends from Nepal, friends from my home club, Lions Club Viratna Center. I put it in the different chat groups. I see so many people from all over India and also from Nepal. It's so nice to be with you all. So now you have accepted the open invitation to act on your vision through servant leadership. So I move on to the first part. As a servant leader, you're a servant first who focuses on the needs of the team members before you consider your own. I have a beautiful story to tell you about a coach and a student. There was a class 12 student in a football team who was exceptionally good at football, exceptionally good. And you know, the coach always said that, boy, you're so good. Every college wants you in their team, so they're going to give you a scholarship. So whenever we're going to have matches, okay, there'll be lots of coaches coming from different colleges, and they will look into you. You select which college you want to go and get the best scholarship. And that student who was the best team captain always used to say, no, sir, I'm not interested to go to any college now. And one game used to happen, the next game used to happen, and similarly, every game used to happen. And there used to be many coaches from the graduate colleges who used to come to always actually to look at the game of this bright player, the captain of the football team of that college, of a class 12 student. But every time he used to refuse, Then after around 6-7 months, after 6-7 months, then finally, he says, okay, sir, now I've decided, okay, to go to a college and get the scholarship. And then at that moment, the coach says, okay, son, don't you think it's too late? Don't you think the good colleges have already taken up the other students that were in the team? Don't you think you've lost on the journey of being selected by the good colleges? And then the student simply smiles and replies to the coach that, sir, see, everyone of the various coaches from various colleges used to come to watch the match to pick me up. But when I said that I'm not available, what did they do? They picked the next best student that was in my team. I was the captain. I am the captain. They picked the next best student who was in my team. And similarly, every game, when I said that I'm not on offer for the colleges, they used to always pick my friends who, if I had said that I will go to this college first, maybe I would get selected to the best college, but then they would never come back because everyone had the target to attract me. Everyone had the target to attract me. And I said that if you come to attract me first and I oblige with you, what will happen to my friends? They'll never get selected. So, sir, what I did was simply that I waited for the last. And as a gift to you, sir, I promise that I will remain with your college. I'll never go to any other college because you provided me the base, you provided me the foundation of becoming a good footballer. I'll not leave you, coach, for any other good scholarship. I will remain with this college and see how well my students, my friends who were in the football team, they got selected with the best scholarships in other colleges. A boy who was studying in class 12 or maybe 17, 18 years of age. And dear friends, this is a true story. This is a true story, okay? So see, even a student who was just 17 years old of a football team as a captain, he thought about his team members so that they get selected to the best colleges with scholarship. And then he opted out of all the selection procedure because he wanted his friends to achieve more. So this is how we talk about servant leadership, where we focus on the needs of the team members before you consider your own. Okay, when we talk about servant leadership, it is about acknowledging team members' perspective. It is not I, it is the us, it is the we in the team. Where as a servant leader, it gives team members the support they need to meet their work and personal goals. Okay, remember, everyone is unique, everyone is different. Okay, right now, Shalini is your team member, but she said that I'm on my journey, I'm returning home, I'm on my way. But then she had the passion to be with us, and then of all the difficulties, she is with us. Maybe she made all the excuses to be with us. There will be certain people who will make all the excuses not to be with us. Let it be. Just let it go. Okay, so that is why when we talk about servant first in servant leadership, it is about giving team members the support they need to meet and their work and their personal goals. That is what is important. And that is why it is rightly said that a servant leader, you're a servant first who involves team members in decisions where appropriate. Okay, in servant leadership, this is very important. It is not my decision or no decision at all. It is our decision, and that our decision is the hallmark of any good servant leadership. And it is rightly said, when a servant leadership happens, okay, no one knows who the leader is. And when everything is done, everyone feels that we did it. Okay, that is where the transparency of the leadership is in the background. Okay, the effect of the leadership is there, but everything is transparent. Everything is in the background. So as a servant leader, you're a servant first who involves the team members in decisions where appropriate. And that is why as a servant leader, you're a servant first who builds a sense of community within the team, And that is why as a servant leader, you are someone who is leading to higher engagement of your people. You're leading to more trust of your people. There was a story, I do not know your generation, how much of you would recall this, but there was a story around 10 years back in 2010 in a copper mine in Chile, okay, in South America, okay. This is a classic example of leadership with camaraderie, where you lead your people to higher engagement and more trust. There's a person called Luis Uraza, okay, and he was a foreman, was deep down in the tunnel, in the cave, okay, in the coal mine, in the mine, okay, the copper mine, I guess. And all of a sudden, 33 people got trapped. This was one of the worst case of people being trapped, but the best case of where everyone survived. After how many days? 70 days. 70 days trapped, 700 meters underground, 33 people, for 70 days, 700 meters underground, and all survived. You know why? Because of one person called Luis Urzúa. That person was the foreman. When Luis Urzúa realized that he is the leader there, okay, now there are no engineers, no other people, but among those 33 people, he is the most senior person. Then firstly, what he did was, he made up his mind that we are all going to survive. He boosted the morale of his friends, of his comrades in such a way that the accident, okay, in all its seriousness, he took it in his own charge, planned a long-term survival strategy, coordinated and communicated with the people at the ground on top, and then after 70 days, and you remember this 33 people, to take them out, it used to as we heard in history, that for one person to come out of that underground 700 meters, it used to take 2 days, 1.5 days, 1 full day. And when these 33 people came out, the last person to come out from that 700-meter underground trap of the mine was Luis Urzúa. And when he came back to the earth, when everyone surrounded him, he was cool and calm. And he just said one word. And he said, "My God, it's been a long, long shift down there." That was the only word he said. "My God, it's been a long, long shift out there." Imagine for 70 days being underground 700 meters with 33 people, and you take the leadership to make everyone survive. You take the leadership to communicate, and then you do not become the first person to come, but you become the last person to reach on top. That's what, as a servant leader, highest engagement and trust is developed. That is why when we talk, dear friends, about servant leadership, it is a philosophy. It is not a theory. That is why servant leadership brings stronger relationships and increased innovation, like what Luis Urzúa did. So that is why when we talk about servant leadership, there are 10 characteristics. Now, quickly on your chat box, depending upon till what I have talked about servant leadership right now, according to you, any one characteristic that you feel is about servant leadership, just write it down. Any one characteristic. Don't write more than one. Don't repeat it. Just write one of the characteristics that you feel is servant leaders' characteristics. Okay, can we have this thing? Line Manoranjan Kumar, you've raised a hand. Can you just chat so that I can answer you a little later? Okay. So I am seeing on the chat. Okay, I'm seeing on the chat. Devesh Pradhan, a very good friend of mine, proactive. Line Binu CB is a district chairperson from Nepal, does himself or herself. So doing yourself is what Line Binu says. Anybody else to just, you can take a wild guess. Lead by example is Aftab Jadran says. Motivation is Manoranjan Kumar's answer. Thank you, Aftab, for lead by example. That is one. This thing. Controlling emotion is what Sanjeev Sood says. Lion. Selvaratnam Nimal, my FDI colleague from Sri Lanka, good friends of mine, who's one of the person because of whom I'm an LCIP. Thank you, Selvaratnam, for being with us, and giving direction is what your answer is to the team members. Be cool, empathetic, works from the benefit of others, more practically oriented, sympathy, self-motivated, service above self, common leadership for development, Samik Netrita Ka Vikas is what Deepak Juliana Pachor has said, and Gautam Betala has also said sympathy. There's Rajesh from Lead the Way who says react less, feel more. Wow, wonderful. Padmini says being with others. Benny John says humbleness. Raju Adhikari from 325A1 Nepal says lead by example. Thank you, my dear friends. I think I missed out on some of them, but I know you all have all. My good friend from FDI, another very good friend who's a PDG, Vinesh Vidyadharan from Kerala, service of self. He profits most who serves the best. Okay, thank you, Vinesh, for being with us. And leading by example, compassionate, a very good word. And also about Aftab Jadani, love from Pakistan. Thank you, Aftab from Pakistan. Love to you from India and Nepal as well. There's Khushi Pradhan who says being humble and at least giving a smile. Thank you, Khushi. Your name is Khushi, so that's why the smile is there. I hope you're laughing. And also my ALLI participant from Bangladesh, Lion Gosal. Congratulations to you also, and love from Bangladesh. Love to you from Nepal, India, Pakistan, to all the people at Bangladesh. Thank you. And there are so many things that everyone has said. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. But okay, let's see. I know all of you are true. As a faculty, I would not ever use a negative term to say that this is wrong. It's right, but these are better. So these 10 characteristics are developed by Larry C. Spears, who was the president of the Robert Greenleaf Center for Servant Leadership in USA. So he was the longest serving president of the Robert Greenleaf Center for Servant Leadership, and he devised, on the basis of his long journey of servant leadership practices, these 10 characteristics. I started with characteristics number 1 and see how much of you were true. At least you may have thought about it. Oh yes, I thought about it. At least you will be happy to know that your thought process is also working proactively. The first is listening. And it's beautifully said that people these days listen not to understand, listen to answer. And in the process of listening to answer, okay, you don't listen at all. In the process of listening to answer, you don't listen at all. That's why listening in is important. And when listening in, you have to understand that. And this is a beautiful word by Jiddu Krishnamurti. Okay, so when you are listening to somebody completely, attentively, then you're listening not only to the words, but also to the feeling. Okay, and also the feeling of being what is conveyed to the whole of it, not part of it. So in totality, you've got to listen. As I said, don't listen to reply. Don't listen to reply, listen to understand. When you listen to understand and you listen fully, you'll be so happy that you'll have understood the perspective of others so beautifully. Okay, so that is what is important for you to understand. Listening is the first characteristic. Number 2 is about empathy. So rightly said, when Aruna ma'am was speaking, I smiled so nicely when she talked about empathy. And you know what she had used the word? I've noted down and I'll use it in many of my sessions now on. Thank you, Aruna ma'am, for giving me this word today. It's the discovery of a new word for me, where she said that empathy is dil ka daulat. Okay, the wealth of the heart. The wealth of the heart is empathy, and so rightly said. Thank you, Aruna ma'am. And that is why empathy is seeing with the eyes of another, listening with the ears of another, and feeling with the heart of another. Dil ki daulat. So nicely said, Dil ki daulat. That is what empathy is all about. Seeing with the eyes of other, listening with the ears of the others, and feeling with the heart of another. That is what empathy is all about. So that is characteristics number 2. Characteristics number 3 is about healing. Because when we are providing servant leadership, we should be compassionate enough to fit into the shoes of the other person. It is not only through sympathy, it is about the passion, the compassion. Okay, so healing is an art. It takes time, it takes practice, and it takes love. Remember to understand that healing is not something that you just take an instant antibiotic and then it is over in 2 days or 3 days when that antibiotic reaction works. But healing is a process that you never need to take another antibiotic for life. You never need to take another medicine for life. It is where you are completely on your own because you've been healed by a person who is a servant leader. Characteristics number 3 of servant leadership. Characteristic number 4 of servant leadership is about self-awareness. And in the book of leadership, this is the first chapter. And dear friends, in self-awareness, there are 4 facets that you have to always understand. There are so many leadership styles. We'll be talking about connective leadership, transformation leadership, vanguard leadership, democratic leadership, autocratic leadership, laissez-faire leadership. There are so many leadership styles that we talk about. But when we look at the facets of self-awareness, there are 4 things. One is your leadership wisdom. Second is your leadership identity. Third is your leadership reputation. And 4, your leadership brand. Or in other words, who you are, how do you identify yourself, how have you built up, and how are you known? Okay, knowing you is more important rather than telling someone about you. So be someone who's self-aware through your wisdom, through your identity, through your reputation and brand of your leadership. So this is what self-awareness, the 4th characteristics of servant leadership is. 5th is about persuasion. Influence is the compass, persuasion is the map. In the end, people are persuaded not by what we say, but what they understand. I was listening to a motivation session some time back, and you know what that person was motivating said, okay, whatever you're listening to me for this 1 hour, forget everything. But tomorrow when you get up, do what you think is the most important. That's motivation. That's motivation. In the 45 minutes that I'm with you, forget about all the things that I've said. But if tomorrow you are on your own, persuaded to take up service as a motto for life, then that is what you are worth. That is what your roadmap is. That is how you lead the way. Okay, so 5th is persuasion. 6th is about conceptualization. Okay, I want to be a servant leader, but I don't want to wake up. I don't want to get up. I don't want to move from my bed. It's no use. That is why conceptualization is merely an art of the human awareness of defining, interpreting and exploring itself through language, thriving on its essence of ultimate functionality. You have to be functional. See, I'm a faculty. Sindhu, on behalf of all the team at the ALLI and the ELL Lead the Way, requested me, okay, if I took this as just any other day, and I come here for 45 minutes and I just blah, blah, blah it, then from next time onwards, what will happen? But then, okay, I sat down, I had so much of interaction with the team, and then this developed into how can I make a 2-day session of servant leadership, a 2-day session, a capsule into 45 minutes. So that is what conceptualization is all about. And in using the conceptualization, you have to use the foresight. So because foresight is not about predicting the future, it is minimizing the surprises. The real trick in life is to turn hindsights into foresights that reveal the insights. So beautiful said. It may be like a tongue twister, but it's not. The real trick in life is to turn hindsights that has happened in the past, okay, into foresights that are going to happen now with what is happening, within ourselves right now, within our insights. Point number 8 is about stewardship. Okay, if your stewardship is pure, then your leadership is for sure. And in stewardship, 3 things are required, my dear friends. One is you need to grow, you need to serve, and you need to give. That's why I'm so proud today that I got to be in a session where the chief guest was PID Aruna Oswal, who I think has grown because she served by giving. And that is what the lifestyle of partnership with God is. And God over here does not mean my religion. God over here means the omnipresent, whom we believe in. Okay, God is that omnipresent whom we believe in. So that is what stewardship is all about. Number 9 is about commitment. And look at that thing that is being said by John Paul Sartre. Okay, it's commitment is an act, not a word. It's an act, what you say, what you do. So I've been invited here, I'm performing this act, and this was my commitment. So everything else after this invitation has been put aside. Okay, so promise, conclusion, competence, behavior, trust, and then success, and then you are there. So when you promise yourself something, you need to come to a conclusion. And when you come to a conclusion, you understand your competence, you understand your behavior, you understand the trust, and then after that, everything works in success. That is why in your level of commitment, don't just wish. That's the lowest level of commitment, wishing someone does it, wishing something happen, wishing something will be there. Wishing is the worst form of commitment, whereas committing yourself is the highest level. And in between that is hope, like, try, and want. And lastly, my dear friends, is the characteristic called building a community. Building a community is to the collectiveness as spiritual practice is to the individual. As you discover what strength you can draw from your community in this world from which it stands apart, look outwards as well as inward. Build bridges instead of walls. See, that's what Aruna ma'am said, no? In the end, know yourself. And how do you know yourself? She said, through outer and inner. See, I didn't prepare the slides after she said something. I didn't search for this after she said something. But you know, see, she's an international director, past international director, who has had given so much of service to Lionism and to the society. See, she was speaking her experiences, and experiences are so good. We build bridges, and we should build bridges instead of walls. And that is what building community of servant leadership is all about. So my dear friends, these were the 10 characteristics of servant leadership: listening, empathy, healing, awareness, persuasion, conceptualization, foresight, stewardship, commitment to growth to the people, and building a community. So as I end my presentation, I just want to take back not all this that I have just talked about, the next 5 things that I'm going to talk about. And it's going to start off, what's going to be your leadership role model? Who's going to be your leadership role model who's impacting society and culture? Define that, please, my dear friends. Define who is going to be your role model in leadership, who's going to impact society and culture. And word impact is forcefulness, okay? It's not about just brushing it, it's about forcefulness. After that, you got to understand, after the leadership role model is the leadership process. Remember, it's not a one-day, one-time activity and it's over. It's not that. It's a process where you improve the organizational processes. You improve the organizational processes over a period of time. Number 3 is about leadership tasks. As I said, we do not wish, okay? We do not just wish, we do it. The will has to be more than the skill. That's why in the leadership task, it is about doing the work. It is about doing the work. And that is what we have to understand. Leadership tasks is where we do the work of a leader. Okay, we do the work of a leader. And then it's all about relationship. See, through the LCI, I got an opportunity to be an FDI graduate. I got an opportunity to be an LCIP, courtesy, as I said, my good friend, Nimal. I got to be an FDI graduate. My good friend, Vinish, who's a PDG from Kerala, he was the person who introduced me. Okay, the relationship and the bond has been built in such a way that my ALLI participants called me for this. Now, there are so many relationships that are building right now. And then as the relationships build up, okay, what happens ultimately, my dear friends, is that we build a character of a servant's heart. We build a character of a servant's heart. Now, I just want you to look from the top to the bottom, okay? Leadership role model, leadership process, leadership tasks, relationship, and that builds the character. And then let's go below that. A servant's heart, now let's go to the reverse, okay, dear friends? A servant's heart, building up others, doing the work of a leader, improving organizational processes, and what happens? Impacting society and culture. So whichever way you take it, your character builds relationship, your relationship builds leadership tasks, or your leadership tasks builds up leadership process or a leadership role model, or a servant impact society and culture, improve organizational process, doing the work of a leader, building up others, or a servant heart. At the end of the day, your character has to be that of a servant heart. And if your character is that of a servant heart, no one can stop you from being a servant leader. So the essence, my dear friend, as I conclude, servant leadership is a philosophy and a set of practices that enriches the life of individuals. It builds better organizations. That's why Lions these days have to be servant leaders, and ultimately creates a more just and caring world. So we're all for that. Where there's a need, there's a line, because we want a just and a caring world. So dear friends, to sum up, I just want to recollect all the things that I've said in this last 40 minutes. Do not consider power as something to be grasped. Remember, leadership is about giving. Leadership is not about just taking. Okay, yes, you're taking a leadership role, but does not mean, as rightly said, it's not a title that you be proud of. It is the work and activity that you be proud of. That is why identify the people you lead, because if you're with the wrong people, even your good intentions will be bad. And whenever you lead, just be humble. That is the crux of all leadership, and especially of servant leadership. That's why, my dear friends, leadership, servant leadership is a philosophy and set of practices that enriches the life of individuals, builds better organization, and ultimately creates a more just world. Thank you. Thank you, Lead the Way team. I think I'm on time every time. And thank you for this opportunity to be with all of you, good friends from India, all over India, from Pakistan, from Bangladesh, and my dear friends from Nepal. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you, Lion Sandesh. This was an absolutely fantastic presentation. If you could just stop the screen sharing. And friends, quickly, we are running short of time, so we'll have just 2 or 3 questions. Just put in your questions on the chat box. Just shoot in your questions on the chat box, and we will take up only 2 or 3 questions, and then we'll move on to the third part of our program. So just the first questions, I would request you, and you can be, I need a question by Ravindra Banka. I couldn't get friends. Okay, we have a question from line Manoranjan Kumar. Yes, that's for you.
Okay, how to motivate your colleagues to be a good servant? The best way to motivate your colleagues to be a good servant is that by doing yourself. Okay, never force onto others what you want them to do. Okay, create the habit culture of going together. Okay, yes, everyone is different, everyone is unique, so don't expect everyone to be like you. Remember the first day you were called to be a line member? Did you just jump in and say, okay, how much is the fees? I want to be a member. Remember how much of the process that person went to make you a line member yourself? Remember all the patience that he had to make you what you're today? Simple. So just follow the process, that it takes patience, and just lead by example. There was that word which came in servant leadership, leading by example. That is it. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, another question is from line Manohar Karki. What are the barriers to servant leadership in Lionism?
The most important barrier is fighting for the title. And after achieving the title, doing nothing. Leadership should create the ladder for others to reach on top, and you also should be there, okay? Because that from the top, you can project, you can provide vision, but once you reach it there and expecting that others all be your servants, rather than you also being a servant for everyone, you also expect all to be your servant only, and then you stay at the top and don't perform at all. That's the biggest barrier. When leadership gets into your head, okay, rather than being on your heart. When your leadership is in a heart, it's always servant leadership. But when a leadership gets into your head, it's the worst form of leadership that can ever happen.
So we'll now take the final question from Lion Gosul from Bangladesh. What would be the remedy if leadership is challenged for transparency issue?
What would be the remedy if leadership is challenged for transparency? I think this is one of the biggest challenges of leadership, especially where people's skill are involved, but monetary factors do come into place, or where the skills of people are not recognized. Okay, so in this, the best remedy is that, as I said, okay, in servant leadership, don't wait for others to appreciate you. Go on your own journey, discover yourself, find the passion to serve, even if you're alone, be true to yourself, and one fine day, that will work in your benefit, where people will recognize you and follow you, and that will lead to a bigger transparency. Remember the film Maji? Okay, simple. You do it yourself because you believe in it. When you believe in it, don't bother about whether others will follow or not. Just stick to it and follow it. Thank you, my dear friends. Thank you.
One small thing I would like to ask,
Thank
sir.
you.
There's a query from me, Shalini. You talked about laddership. So laddership, you said that being with the top authority and moving ahead. Can't I take leadership as such key, right? Climbing from the first step, learning, then moving ahead to the second step, learning, moving, and that way I climb to the top step. So can't that be leadership? Because what I took is that meaning of leadership.
Thank you. Yes, exactly, Shalini. There are 4 words, I say 5 words that define how leadership works for leadership. Okay. First is endurance. How much have you gone through to personally feel it? Because when you feel it, then you become compassionate. Second is, what is the toughness in you? How much are you tough to withstand all the crises and the challenges? Third is, when you have endured the toughness, then how compassionate are you? As I said, from the heart, how much are you serving from the heart? How much are you leading from the heart? And when these 3 things combine, you become dedicated. As I said, the dedication works because you believe in it. No one has forced onto you, but you believed in it. And then the biggest of leadership, when you reach that pinnacle, is your sacrifice. The sacrifice that you make by giving rather than just expecting. Thank you, Shalini.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Friends, what an extraordinary session taken by Lion. What an extraordinary session which has been taken by Lion Shrestha. And friends, if I were to just quote the words of Ken Blanchard, he said, servant leadership is all about making goals clear and then rolling up your sleeves and doing whatever it takes to help people win. Or if I were to put in the words of Bishop Dale, if serving is below you, leadership is beyond you. So he has put in an absolutely wonderful perspective on everything about servant leadership that we wanted to know. And if I were to put in his own language, Subhai, Lion Doctor Did Sandesh.
Thank you, Subhai.
Subhai. That is in a word in Nevari. And
Yes,
friends,
thank you.
that is his language, Nevari. Now moving on to the next section, friends. Before we move that, I'll just share that the registration link has been shared on chat, and only those who register through the registration link are eligible to receive a participation certificate, which our team member Lion Jaya has absolutely automated. So whoever registers will get the certificate of participation. We now move on to the third section of our program. This is a presentation by one of our team members. This time it is Lion Sindhu Dinaraj, an ALLI graduate from 2019. I would request Lion Jaya Pandey to introduce her to this August gathering today, and her presentation would be observed by past District Governor Lion Govind Agarwal. So here we have Lion Jaya Pandey introducing ALLI graduate Lion Sindhu Dinaraj.
Thank you so much, Manish. Good evening to everyone. This is Lion Jaya Pandey. It's my privilege to introduce our faculty before you. Before I introduce our ALLI faculty, I would like to quote, "A woman with a voice is by definition a strong woman, but the search to find that voice can be a remarkable difficult. This voice is your best tool in the boardroom. Once you find your voice, own it and practice, because in future, there will be a no female leader. There will be a just be a leader." She born in the year 1974, joined Lionism in 2009. Her home club is Lions Club of Paravu North, District 318C. She was president of Lions Club of Paravu North in 2016 to 17. She was best president, best zone chairperson of district, best zone chairperson in the multiple and achiever International President Appreciation Award in 2017 to 18. She was district chairperson for Site for Kids 2018 to 19. In 2019 to 20, she was a region chairperson. In 2020 to 21, she is district chairperson for the childhood cancer. She is RLLI and ALLI graduate. Her qualification is postgraduate in English language and literature, postgraduate diploma in human resource management, MBA in human resource management. Started career as a teacher. She is married to MGF Lion Dinaraj. He is engineer by profession and running own constructions company. She has 2 sons. One is Lion Sanjay Dinaraj. He is second year MBBS student. And second one is the Leo Sachin Dinaraj. He is doing his 12 plus from the college Bhavan's Adarsh Vidyalaya. Now I would like to present a dynamic ALLI faculty, Lion MGF, Sindhu Dinaraj. Ma'am, now screen is yours.
Thank you, Jaya. Thank you for your nice words. You introduced me in such a way that I feel that I am flying in the skies. Good evening. Am I audible?
Yeah, audible.
Shall I start?
Yes, please,
Okay.
ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, dear leaders and mentors, for giving me this opportunity. We just have 30 minutes to share our views on today's topic. This COVID pandemic has made us struggle many ways. However, it has taught us many useful things in our day-to-day life. One of the key things is today's topic, goal setting. Well, kindly please make sure you to locate the chat box, as we will have a few questions coming up for you. Please enable the chat box. The first one is right away. What is your immediate goal? Please comment in the chat box. I repeat, what is your immediate goal? Where do you see yourself in another 1 year? It can be your personal, professional, or business life. I'm not getting the chat box.
It's okay, ma'am. You just had the question. Manish will see the chat box and answer it.
Okay.
Chat box now says produce leaders for future, service in lines to serve, to promote leaders. And
Okay.
these are some of the replies. Myself to be a best human and mother, to be a successful lion, to build strong relationships.
Thank you. Thank you for your answers. Today, we will be discussing about the 5 golden rules for setting a goal. We all have many wishes in our mind. It is rightly said that a goal without a plan is just a wish. So it's time to think again. Do we have a wish or do we have a goal? Next. Every human being in some point of their lives has to have some goal. If we analyze every goal achieved, formulas that made it possible. Goal is where we want to reach. Goal setting is a process that helps us reach the goal smarter, easier, and quicker. Moving into the first golden rule in goal setting, the major difference between a successful person and a struggling person is that the successful person has initiated the thinking process of listing his goals. Like the key ingredient in every recipe, initiativeness is the key to success. We all have many plans in our mind about today, tomorrow, next weekend, next year. However, if we do not initiate it in right way, the very moment, it still remains as a wish. The second goal rule is that we have smart goals in our lives. I know that you all are really smart. Likewise, our goals also should be smart. The SMART abbreviation for the SMART is specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. Let us look what these all are. Specific means it should be well defined and clear. To make a goal specific, the 5 W questions must be considered. Who, what, where, when, and why. Who is involved in this goal? what do I want to accomplish? Where is this goal to be achieved? When do I want to achieve? Why do I want to achieve? Next is measurable. Measurable goals means that you identify exactly what you will see, hear, feel when you reach your goal. Next, achievable. A SMART goal must be achievable and attainable. The achievability of the goal should be stretched to make you feel challenged but defined well enough that you can actually achieve it. Ask yourself, do I have the resource and capabilities to achieve the goal? If not, what am I missing? Have others done it successfully before? Next is realistic. When setting a goal for yourself, consider whether or not they are realistic or relevant. Each of your goals should align with your values and larger long-term goals. If a goal doesn't contribute towards your objectives, you must rethink it. Ask yourself why the goal is important to you, how achieving it will help you, and how it will contribute towards your long-term goals. Last one is time-bound. Your goals must have a deadline. Again, this means that you know when you can celebrate success. When you are working on a deadline, your sense of urgency increases and achievement will come that much quicker. We need to start checking whether our definition for goal matches these SMART goals. If not, then we need to add, delete things to make them SMART. Moving to the third point, which you may feel a bit contradictory, we should have a vision before we actually set our goals. So my next question for you all would be, what is meant by vision? You can all use your chat box for that. I'm not getting the chat box right now. So shall I move? Vision is the place where we want to reach, and our goal is our vision broken into small pieces. If each achieve each single small goal, we will be nearing our vision easier and faster. Vision has a broader perspective. So every time we have a vision, we need to break them into smaller achievable goals. Every time we achieve a goal, reward ourselves with something so that it will boost our self-confidence and help us to achieve more goals. The fourth golden rule is to check how many goals we actually have in your lives. And the million-dollar question is that, do we really have goals that keep us busy, or do we really have goals that makes us productive? We should start asking ourselves this question and try to focus more on goals that makes us productive. The last and fifth golden rule would be that every goal that we have identified and linked to a vision should be neatly written in a piece of paper and displayed in a place where we see them every day, morning and night. Just by reading this goal for a few days, our subconscious mind will help us in achieving the goal. It doesn't mean that something magical will happen. It means that our mind will equip us to be more productive and focus towards our single goal. In the book, The Secret by Rhonda Byrne, it clearly explains how thoughts are actually transmitted to the universe. So with these 5 golden rules for goal setting of initiative, thinking process, having SMART goals, having a vision, and have goal set, having productive goals, having a system of writing down goals will actually help a person to align themselves towards much more disciplined way of goal setting and help them achieve things faster and better. By this, let me conclude. Let me thank all my core team members for the support given to me and all the participants by actively interacting in the small session. We will definitely fight this pandemic with all our might and come victorious. Wish you all great days ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lion Sindhu, for the session. May I request Rajesh to please take for the Q&A session. Since we are
Yeah.
short of time, we will just take one question. If somebody's got a question, please put it forward in the chat box.
Chat box. Please
If
go
anybody's
ahead.
got a
Anyone?
question. Yes, Rajesh bhai, if you could just, yes.
Yeah. Anyone? If any queries or question, please raise your hand, or you can. It's one question from Lion Club of Mahanadi, Uma Shankar. How can we motivate someone for adding in our club for new membership?
Yes.
Sindhu ji.
How to set a goal for adding more membership in the
How
club?
to set?
Lion Sindhu is muted.
Please unmute your.
It's okay. I think we seem to have some technical difficulty
fault.
with her. Okay, we will just put up the question for a reply later on, and we move on. This was an absolutely fantastic session, friends, and it was short and crisp as put up by some of our team members for the short and crisp session. Friends, we all need to set high goals in our life and not stop till we reach there. And Lion Sindhu has shared us 5 important things to ensure that we reach our goals. Setting goals is the first step on turning the invisible to the visible. Now, we had a presentation being observed by past District Governor Lion Govind Agarwal. But before we request for the feedback of the program presentation, I would request Lion Rajesh Agarwal to come forward and introduce our past District Governor, Lion Govind Agarwal. Rajesh.
Thank you, Manish ji. It's my privilege to introduce our past district governor, Lion Govind Agarwal, MJF. Every time we meet, we're inspired by his vision, his knowledge. He was born on 29 January 1958 at Katamanji, district Balangir, western part of Odisha. He graduated in law from Lala Lajpat Rai College, Sambalpur in year 1982. Apart from his legal practice, he is looking after his business, family business of rice mill, petrol pump, transportation, fertilizers, and lodging, etc. He is member in various organizations. He is member of governing body of Government Girls High School, advisor to Shramik Patagar, President Merchant Association, member of Marwadi Panchayat Samiti, District Blind Society, Odisha Cancer Society, Indian Red Cross Society, and Aggression Seva Sangh. Lion Govind Agarwal has widely traveled in India and abroad. His hobby is our stamp collection and matchbox wrapper collection. He has already collected about 4,000 matchbox wrappers. It's wonderful. He is chartered member of Lions Club of Patnagarh in the year 1980. He was president of club during year 1985-86. He had received many awards. He received District Governor Appreciation Certificate consecutively for 4 years from 1989-92, 92-93. Best District Chairperson Award 94-95, 100% President's Award, 4 Extension Award, 3 Guiding Line Award, 3 Senior Master Skills Award, 19 years Continuous Membership Award, International President Certificate for Appreciation for Campaign Site First, and International President Certificate of Appreciation in 97-98. Lion Govind Agarwal ji also attended the International Convention at Miami, USA in the year 1989, and also San Diego, California, USA in 1999, where he was installed as district governor. He is happily married to Mamta ji and is blessed with a daughter, Lion Parul Khaitan, currently president of Lions Club of Raurkela Pragati, and also blessed with 2 sons, Ankur and Madhur. And with this all, now we are presenting our past district governor, MJF Lion Govind Agarwal ji, very respected person of our district. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Rajesh ji.
Thank you, sir.
for introducing so nicely. महेश जी, सबसे पहले मैं हमारे सेकंड वाइस गवर्नर वापी गोयल जी को याद करूंगा, जिन्होंने मुझे इस प्रोग्राम में आने के लिए रिक्वेस्ट किया था, पर कोविड के चलते मैं मना कर दिया था, पर राजेश जी को मना नहीं कर पाया। ये बड़ा ही अच्छा है, ये प्रोग्राम सीखने के लिए, सिखाने के लिए, लीडर्स बनाने के लिए। और अरुणा जी के बोलने के बाद, श्रेष्ठा जी के बाद, जब एक नए कोई टीचर आते हैं सिखाने के लिए स्कूल में, और बहुत ही कम समय में इतने अच्छी तरह से हमें बता के जाते हैं कि हम किस मकसद से और किस क्लास में बैठे हैं, तो तब समझ में आता है कि उनकी कितनी उस सब्जेक्ट में पकड़ है, और उस पकड़ को वो किस तरह से हमारे सामने बता रहे हैं। जया जी ने बड़ी अच्छे तरह से उनको इंट्रोड्यूस किया। इंट्रोडक्शन में उन्होंने जो बताया,
Sir, can you speak English, sir, please?
पर मैं हिंदी में ही बोलना चाहूंगा, क्योंकि आई लव हिंदी, मैं भारत का हूँ और हिंदी ही मेरी पसंद है। इंग्लिश बोल सकता हूँ, पर मैं बोलना ही चाहूंगा हिंदी में ही। हो सकता है तकलीफ आए किसी को, पर आई वुड लाइक टू स्पीक इन हिंदी ओनली। आई रिकॉल वन स्टोरी एज इन गोल सिटी। मैं इंग्लिश में भी थोड़ा थोड़ा बोल सकता हूँ। इन्होंने जो कहा गोल सेटिंग में 5 golden rules for goal setting, I would like to share one story from Mahabharata, where Arjuna was the only Dhanurdhar who won Draupadi. His target was the persons those who were there in that competitions. The target was to get Draupadi. They had the aim to get Draupadi, but nobody knows how to reach there. They shared their goal. Their goal was to get Draupadi, but the way to reach there, they do not know the way. They did know the way how to reach there. The only person who knows the way was Arjuna, and he get Draupadi. Like that, the golden rules, the goal setting. Once you are setting your goals, you have to reach there, and unless and until you reach there, it cannot be fruitful. Sindhu ji rightly said how to prepare a goal, how to find the way to reach the goal, and the actions to take and reaching the goal. Fantastic. I appreciate Sindhu ji for her preparation for this session. And I once again thanks Rajesh ji for giving me this opportunity to share my views with Lion friends. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving your words of wisdom and motivating the graduates from ALLI, because we all need feedback. That is how we grow. If I were to put the words of Jim Trinka, who said feedback is a gift. Ideas are the currency to our next success. Let people see us, learn to value both feedback and ideas. And your ideas and views certainly will help our ALLI graduate to grow and develop further. Friends, as we come to the end of our session, before we end, I would like to invite our team member, Lion Dr. Srinivas Patil, to propose the word of thanks. Lion Dr. Srinivas Patil.
Thank you, Manish. First of all, I thank all our ALLI and ELLI team members for the excellent teamwork of episode 6. I thank Chief Guest, Melvin Joan Fellow Lion Dr. Aruna Abe Oswal, past International Director, and Board of Trustee, Lions Clubs International, for motivating all of us. I thank Observer MJF Lion Govind Agarwal, past District Governor, District 322 C2, for appreciating Lion Sindhu's efforts of goal setting and appreciating the lead the way teamwork. I thank the faculty who gave an excellent topic, servant leadership, leadership and laddership, is Lion Sandesh Das Sreshta, LCIP trainer from Nepal, district 325 A1. I thank our own team member, a ALLI graduate of 2019, coordinator of Lead the Way, MJF Lion Sindhu Dinaraj of Lions Club of Paravur North, district 318C, for giving an excellent insight of 5 golden rules for goal setting. Lastly, I thank all our team members for an excellent coordination and tireless teamwork for bringing the Lead the Way episodes every week. Thank you, Manish. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lion Srinivas. And of course, a big thanks to all the participants who spared their time to be here today.
Yeah,
Friends,
definitely.
Henry Ford had said, anyone who stops learning is old. Age does not matter, 20 or 80. Anyone who keeps learning stays young. The greatest challenge in life is to keep our mind young. And that was the vision when our ALLI and ELLI graduates, 11 of us, joined together to ensure that this learning saga continues and we keep learning. While in this program, as much as you learn, we do learn as well. Thank you, friends, for being a part of this 6th episode. And we are waiting for you to join us on the 7th episode next Wednesday. And friends, we are now opening up for fellowship, and we can just do a chit chat after this. So while I'm muting everybody, you can unmute yourself and share your views about the program. Okay, friends, whoever wishes to speak can unmute, and we can go ahead with a small chit chat. Yes, Shalini.
Lion Manish, thank you very much.
Hello. Thank you, sir.
And it was so nice. The concept itself was, I've been a part of it since the first, this thing, like because a very good sister of mine, Pooja, used to always send me the link.
Yes.
Then today, Sindhu Dinaraj, I know it's your first day. As I've written to you personally also, a small step today, but a giant leap forward for tomorrow's, which is always explorable. A nice script session. Thank you all. And on behalf of everyone at the team, on behalf of everyone at the team, thank you very much for this opportunity. Let's stick together. Stay safe. Thank you.
We really loved your session, sir. It was fantastic.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming.
To learn.
Really wonderful session.
Thank you, Manish ji, for inviting me for this session. You did a great job as a MOC, and I have a privilege to hear Sreshta sir within a month twice. He was there for my installation as a secretary to Lions Club of Siliguri Metro. It was very good program, and I really enjoyed it. And it was a privilege watching them and learning what they said. I will try to implement all those things. Thank you very much for such a nice session.
Thank you, sir. We are delighted.
Good evening, Manish ji. This is Jagdish Edapaditaya from Mangalore, 317D.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. I thank Sindhu madam also, because she has given me this opportunity. One more thing is my special thanks to Dr. Sandesh ji, because he was my ALLI guru. Still, I remember I got one more chance to hear from him. Thank you very much, sir. And thanks to Aruna madam also, Sindhu madam also.
Welcome,
thank you
sir.
very much, sir. I am with you always. Thank you very much, sir.
नमस्ते.
नमस्ते जी.
आदरणीय ओसवाल मैम को सुनना हमेशा की तरह अमेजिंग, बहुत ही ज्ञान का सागर है वो. श्रेष्ठ सर ने बहुत अच्छे टिप्स और बहुत अच्छे विचार व्यक्त किए, बिल्कुल नए विचारों से हमें अवगत कराया, और सिंधु मैम ने गागर में सागर भर दिया छोटे से सेशन में. साथ ही गोविंद अग्रवाल सर को धन्यवाद, जिन्होंने हिंदी का मान बढ़ाया.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your words.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद ऑल द लीड टीम। आज के विषय का शानदार उदाहरण है आज की टीम हमारी।
Suraj sir, it was great to see Lion Sindhu in action today.
Yeah. It is very nice to see her. She was so happy to see her smile now.
I can see now Lion Shalini. Finally, I have put her on the spotlight now. After we waited for her through the session and she's reached home late. Thank you for joining.
So much, because it was really a hectic day. It was all traffic, and where I had to reach in 1.5 hours, I reached in 4.5 hours. So all things disturbed today. But
Today highest figure is 142.
Fantastic.
142.
Lion Sandesh, we have had a lot of Dhere Jana Nepal Bada Jaun Vacha. A lot of people have come from Nepal today because of you, and that is adding up value.
Thank you. Yes. It's always that 4 or 5 of my friends are always there with me to, like, they are there to check and balance my presentation. They are the feedback makers for me.
Okay.
And after every session, like I personally ask them for a very critical analysis of improvements.
Okay, you would be delighted to know we have Jayant Pereira sir today with us.
Yes, Jayant sir, I saw you a little late, but through your messages, very, very, very good faculty, Dr. from
Yes.
My
And
colleague.
okay, and Mr. Pradeep Ghosh,
Yes.
how was your experience today in the session? He is the GLT from 322F.
Amazing program, that was very useful, and it is my good luck that I have joined this program. I have learned many things today, and all the faculties were very good. All have done very well, and someone told कि सिंधु जी ने गागर में सागर भर दिया। तो सिंधु जी ही नहीं, सबों ने गागर में सागर भर दिया। मतलब इस समय में इतना सारा बातों की जानकारी देना, it is really a very appreciable. गागर में सागर में गागर तो बहुत लोग भर देते हैं, जितना भी सागर में गागर को फेलो नहीं भरे, लेकिन गागर के अंदर में सागर को डालना, it means to this sort of period, we learned much things. Thank you.
Binod ji silent today. Binod ji.
इसको भी ऑब्जर्व कर रहा हूँ मैं, जितना फीडबैक है ना सर, इसको भी ऑब्जर्व कर रहा हूँ। ये मैंने स्टार्टिंग से कंटिन्यू, आप तो जान ही रहे हैं, मैंने तो शॉर्ट किया है और मैंने सभी सेशन कंप्लीट किया है। और यहाँ पर दीपक जुलफिया जी जो है उनको भी मैं देखता हूँ रेगुलर, सभी को देखता हूँ। ये रियली एक्चुअली बहुत ही शानदार ये हो रहा है। और गोविंद जी जो कि हमारे डिस्ट्रिक्ट से हैं, वो तो मेरा पड़ोसी शहर है, उनको तो मैं सुना भी है, राजनीति में अच्छा लगा। सिंधु जी का क्वेश्चन बहुत जवाब था। बाकी आप लोग जितना मेहनत करते हैं ना सर, रियल में एक्चुअली थैंक यू सर। आप इसको कैसे फीडबैक, मतलब कैसे करके तैयारी करते होंगे, ये तो हम छोटा प्रोजेक्ट भी करते हैं तो हमको मालूम चलता है कि हम कैसे करते हैं। आप इतना बड़ा प्रोग्राम ऑर्गेनाइज कर रहे हो, रियली हम सभी पार्टिसिपेंट की तरफ से आपको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर।
All the team is working, every member of the team is working, and it is really the efforts of all of them.
1 minute.
Yes, Sindhu ma'am.
My Corsi KP Peter is there.
Yeah,
Peter.
Good evening.
Yeah, Peter.
Peter KP. Okay, his video is off. I can't put him on spotlight.
No problem. I am KP Peter, a co-RC of Reliance Sindhu.
I'm relieved.
And, my dear sister made a very good presentation today, and it was a very fantastic presentation. The very subject was very important, because goal setting is a subject important not only in Lionism but every realm of our life. So congratulations, my dear sister Sindhu.
Thank you, Cheta.
And today's session, Lead the Way, was very informative and amazing, especially that of Lion Sandesh Das Shrestha and Aruna Oswald. Thank you very much. Thank you all for the wonderful
Thank you. Thank you, Peter.
I
Friends,
think
anybody? Yes. Yes, Jivanta sir is
there.
here. Jivanta sir is not speaking.
Good evening. Good evening to all of you.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
Sir, are you okay?
Extremely sorry that even today I was in hospital. That because of that, I'm not in position to show you my face. But I was really energized even when I came little late home. I just logged into Zoom platform. Then I saw my very good friend starting his session. My LCIF colleague, Lion Dr. Sanjay Shrestha. He's a nice gentleman. I call him a learned graduate, where we can learn many things from him through his lectures as well as through his very good human qualities. Jodhulappa. And in fact, it is always a learning session by having any interaction